Hello friends, welcome you all in the video what is array. In our last video we have discussed regarding the definition of array and we have seen the array how it is different from our ordinary variable. In this video we are going to discuss regarding how to declare the array, how to store values in the array and how to print the values from the array. For that purpose, that particular understanding, first we have to discuss regarding the basic fundamentals of array. As we have seen that array is nothing but collection of values of same data type. Here you have to remember one thing is that array elements are having the same data type. We cannot store or we cannot have an array of having the elements of different data type. So like this, we can say that array is also a set of elements which are having same data type. As we know that set is a fundamental thing which has elements of the set share some certain common properties. So here our array is also a set of elements of different elements of same data type, and we cannot have the elements of different data type. We have seen also that how to declare the array, the basic mechanism for declaring the array, and then we have seen that how the internal representation of the array is there and how to represent the array in the internal form. In this video we will discuss regarding declaration, internal representation of the array, and then we'll see example program for arrays based on the arrays by entering and printing the values from the array. So with continuation with our discussion of the arrays, as we have seen that for declaring any array we require three things. First and foremost thing is that we require data type of the array. Second thing is that we require name of the array, and third thing is that size of the array. So for declaration of the array, these three things are fundamental. Means we require first of all data type, may be integer, float, character or string depending upon our requirement. Then we require the name of the array. As we have seen that we can give any name to the array by using the rules of the names or rules of the giving the names to the variable. As we have to remind that there are certain rules such as a variable name cannot start with the alphabet with the digit, variable name cannot have spaces between the characters, only one special character is allowed, that is underscore, and it will be of maximum 8 characters. It will be combination of alphabets and digits. So like this, there are certain rules for giving the name to the variable. So similar rules are applied to the names of the array. Means we have to apply the rules of the variable to the name of the array. Then we are having the size of the array. As we have seen that size of the array indicates how much element it is going to be stored in the array. If the size of the array is 1, means it is going to store 1 value. If the size of the array is 10, means it is going to store 10 values in the array. So in our discussion, we have seen that declaration of the array requires three things. So here also we are going to discuss the example, and then we are going to discuss the program based on that particular example or any example. So here, for example, if we declare an array like marks and size of the array is 5, so our declaration is float mark 5. Here float is the data type of the array, mark is the name of the array, and 5 is the size of the array. So 5 is the size means it will store 5 values. It is going to store or having the capacity of storing 5 different values of float type. All the types, all the values of the that array will be of type float. So here, now if you see the internal representation of this particular array, so here it can be represented. It has 5 locations, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. and the location number, such as first location, that is mark 0. As we have seen that the internal representation of the array and the indices of the array starts from 0. That is the convention that is used, standard convention used by, that is prescribed by ANSYS. So it is a method that array locations always starts from 0. So here mark 0 is the first location number, mark 1 second location number. Like this, mark 2, 3 and 4. Mark 4 is the last location, fifth location. So starting from 0 to 4, it is going to store 5 values in that array. So these are 5 locations, and it is going to store 5 different values of type float. And if you want to access the individual element of that particular array, so we can use that indices indicated with the help of that particular mark 0 means first element, mark 2 means third element. So like this, if you want to print or you want to access third element of the array, means that in that case the indices will be 2. So here this array and this indication of that particular things are indicated here. So now coming to our next declaration, like there are so many other methods for declaring the array also. Like you can declare the array with initializing of the values. For example, here I have initialized the array like int mark 5 is equal to, in curly bracket, starting curly bracket, 19, 10, 8, 17, 9. So here, as the array is of size 5, so I have initialized the array with the help of that particular values. You can give any values for initialization. So here 19 is the first value, 10 is the second value, 8 is the third value, 17 is the fourth value, and 9 is the fifth value. We have initialized. So this is one method that we are going to initialize the values. So here second method also we are going to discuss. See here another method of initialization of the array is that int mark, in the size we have put blank. In the size we have put blank. Then we are having 19, 10, 8, 17, 19. So in this particular case, 19 is the first value, 10 is the second value, 8 is the third value, 17 is the fourth, and 9 is the last value. So here total 5 values are there. So if you observe, the difference between these two declarations is that in the first declaration we have mentioned the size. In the second declaration we have not mentioned the size, and just we have mentioned the values, all the values it is going to store. So here in this, depending on the number of values, the compiler will assign the size of the array. So like this, here we have assigned 5 values, means the size of this particular array is 5. So here our main discussion is that when to use this particular method. So we can say that if the values are fixed, if whatever value you are going to store in the array are fixed, then only you can use this particular declaration method. If the values are not fixed, if the values depend upon the choice of the user, which she is going to enter, in that case we cannot initialize the array. So we have to just declare the array, and then we have to use different method for entering and printing the values of the array. This method can only be used when the size and the number of elements in the array are fixed. So in this case, this type of declaration can only be applied where we are having the elements and size of the array is fixed. Now coming to how to store the what is the method for storing the values in the array or particular element of the array. As we know that we are having the input function is scanf. So we are using scanf %d ampersand mark and mark ampersand and mark 2 means we are storing the value in the third location of the array. Mark 2 means third location. 0 is the first location, 1 is the second, and 2 is the third location. So in this way, by using input function, we can use initialize the value or enter the value in the array. Similarly, if you want to print particular value from particular location of the array, so in that case we are having the output function printf, percentile D, that is the format specifier, and mark is the name of the variable, and 0 is the location number. So if the location number 0, then it indicates that we are going to print first value. Location number 2, we are going to print the second value, that is third value, and depending upon the size of the array, I minus 1 if we are using in the for loop. So here this method is for input, for printing input and output value from the array. Now we will see here one type of example program where we are going to declare the array and we are going to print the values of that array first by entering the values in the array and then printing the values. So here in this declaration we are having hash include stdio.h, then main function. As usual in every C program we are having main function, and before that we are using int, that is the data type returned by this particular function. It is not mandatory. In some case we are going to use, in some case we are going to skip it. Int value 5. Value is the name of the variable, 5 is the size of the variable. Here the name of the array is values and size of the array is 5 and data type of the array is int. Now first of all we are going to enter the values in the array, means first we are going to input the values in the array. So for that we are using this statement here, printf enter 5 values or 5 integers. So user will enter one by one through the keyboard 5 different values. So our program will read that values or store that values in the array. So for mechanism for that is by using the for loop. So what is this for loop and how to use the for loop, we will discuss it later on. Time being, you have to remember that we are using the for loop for storing the values in the array. So we are initializing the I equal to 0 because I first location starts from 0 in case of array. I less than 5 because 0 to 4 there are total 5 values. So I less than 5 plus I means increment. We are going to increment. Scanf percentile D ampersand value I. So first it will start from 0. It will store the value whatever you are going to enter through the keyboard in the first location. Then it will go to increment the value of the array and value of the I becomes 1. You will enter second value that will be stored in the array in the second location. Again it will increment the value. You will enter the value. It is going to store that value in the third location. In this way all the 5 values will be stored in the array. As soon as the value of I becomes 5, the condition becomes false in case of for loop and this loop will be stopped or terminated. So in this way, this is the basic mechanism for storing the values by using the for loop. Now coming to the, after storing the values, we are going to print. Now we are going to discuss the mechanism for printing the values from the array. So in that case, we have to use the output function printf, same for loop, I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus or plus plus I, printf percentile D slash n new line character, values, name of the array, and I is the indices. So it will start from I equal to 0, check the condition false, condition true, so it will print the first value of the array. Second, it will increment the value of I, again it will check the condition, then again it will print the second value. So like this, it will print third value, fourth value, fifth value. As soon as I becomes 5, this condition I less than 5, 5 not less than 5, condition is false, so this loop will stop and our all the values of the array are printed, and this is the end of the for loop and end of the program. So in this way, this is the basic mechanism by using which we are going to store the values in the array. So output of the program, if you observe here, first statement whichever is appear on the screen will be enter 5 values. So you have entered 1 minus 3, 34, 0, 3. So these values are stored in the array. Now for printing that values, so by using this printf, we are going to print that values. So the values will be like 1 minus 3, 34, 0 and 3. So this is the basic mechanism for entering and printing the values from the array, and in this way we can store all the values in the array by using different methods of initialization. Either if we initialize them or we can enter the values through the keyboard. So this is the basic mechanism for entering and printing the values. Thank you very much.